Hi, today we have the second half of the Suzuki ATV Nationals at Pirini. With all the titles going home at the end of the day, the action was absolutely full on. Many classes were decided in the final race of this, the final round of the series. With a strong team up from the mainland, determined to take their share of the silverware back across the straight, the racing was brilliant on this purpose-built ATV track. With the big Can-Am jump in the middle of the circuit and all the variations of jumps and berms, this has to be one of the finest ATV facilities anywhere. So here's some of the races, and we'll see how the day unfolded in their classes. And despite the ribbing, everyone's pretty stoked to see him here. Scotty, can you give us a bit of a rundown on what started this whole thing with quads and how things have been for you in the last, obviously a fairly challenging time, and you're back into it?
Oh, 2 years ago, I broke my back, and then just in January, a couple of mates put me on a two-wheeler, and they just put a broom handle stick to the gear lever and just pushed me off and let me have a go. And then I came out here in February, and they said, "Oh, do you want to have a go on one of our quads?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." So had a go just one Saturday or something, and then they're like, "Oh, do you want to race next weekend?" I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll race." And so I ended up racing in the juniors, and then just in June I bought this bike, and then now doing the nationals. So
good to be back with the throttle.
Yeah, it's good. It's pretty fun compared to two-wheelers because you get to drift the corners and that, and yeah, it's a whole different type of racing, but no, it's still fun. Yeah.
And with the jumps and stuff, how do you cope with those?
It's all good. The doubles get me a bit, but I can do the tabletops and the step ups and all that. That's pretty easy. But no, just when I hit the ramp, it makes me stand up, so then it's all good. But otherwise, yeah, it's sweet.
So all those people that think, "Nah, it's a little bit hard for me," a little bit of advice for them about getting into it?
I suppose just give it a go. Like, I didn't know if I'd be able to do it to start with, but yeah, just try it. If you can't do it, you can't do it, but otherwise, yeah, just try it. So
one of the, I suppose, side effects of the whole thing is you've obviously got the upper body strength. Yeah. So you're not going to get tired towards the end of the race?
I get a little bit tired just because the other guys can stand up when I can't stand up.
So we've got a few alterations here. We've got a shift kit. Scotty, how does this work?
This is obviously so I can change gear. The top button's up and down. Because I only just got this about a week ago, and before that I was leaning down to change gear, so I'd start the race in second gear and I'd have to go along and pick up the gear changer, which is a bit dodgy. The whole race I'd be stuck in third or fourth usually, so I'd start bogging out around the corners, but now that I've got the buttons I can go down into lower gears and heaps faster with it. So, but no, it helps a lot having the buttons, and it's a bit more safer than leaning down and taking my hands off the handlebars. So yeah.
And Fitchy's helped out with a bit of suspension to help with?
Because I used to have stock suspension in it, but that just killed my back and that hitting the bumps, and now that I've got the new suspension, it definitely takes out a lot of the bumps and makes a lot softer ride. So yeah.
So there you go, you can overcome adversities and still get into the sport.
I've had heaps of people that have encouraged me and helped me along, and I've got mechanic Daniel that helps me and fixes it all for me, but otherwise, yeah, it's good. So
brilliant, doesn't get much better than that. Cheers, dude. In the Clubman's class, Brendan Errol only really needed to keep it tidy and finish to secure the Clubman's class title, but he enjoyed the day and raced to win, scoring a clean sweep in the final round and racing hard right to the very end. Clubman's is the nursery class, giving racers a place to gain the skill level needed to race in the Open or Premier class. It is all about supporting riders at their level. Okay, we have a bit of a legend of the old ATV circuit here, Mr. Fitch himself. Can you tell us about the weekend?
Well, so far it's been a great weekend. I mean, good numbers for a start, and the organisers have certainly put in a good effort with the track, and it's holding up pretty well. It's certainly getting technical and tough, but think everyone's enjoying it.
It's all part of it, eh?
Exactly, yeah. It's going to sort out the true champions for the weekend, I guess.
And what classes are you racing in?
Premier, running third at the moment in the Premier, which I'm reasonably happy with. Had a few issues, but the guys are running really well in that, and also the veterans. So I'm, having a good time.
Good tough fighting out on track there though?
Yeah, it's good racing. Most of the classes, I mean, I'm looking at it and there's certainly some close racing going on, and enjoying watching as well as doing the racing.
And young fella there with his quad said you helped him out no end. It was just to showcase the sport. Have you known him for a long time, or just cause?
Yeah, just pretty much with Scott. I mean, I got to see the 2020 interview story on him, and I was just impressed with his attitude. I mean,
yeah, you got to admire it, don't you?
Yeah, and I called him up straight away and just said, it's not about trying to promote my business because people are going to take notice of him. It was more just to say, you've got an attitude that if half of us had, we'd be better people because of it, and just said any way I can help, and obviously one of the things he suffers with is suspension. It's a these tracks where everyone else stands up everywhere pretty much. I mean,
he's got to take the hits.
Yeah, he's got to take it. I mean, ideally around here you want to be standing up 90% of the time, and he's just relying on brute strength in the top half of his body, and just to be out here on such a demanding track, so yeah, I mean, certainly the reason I wanted to help him out was nothing to do with the fact of exposure for Fitch racing and stuff. It was more just that he's a young lad with an attitude that's just unbelievable.
Yeah, you got to admire it, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Really, I mean, he's the inspiration. When I'm out there, third lap, fourth lap, getting tired in the second class, I just think of Scott, and that just, I just go, man, I'm lucky,
Yeah, exactly.
and try and push through the tougher races.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's going to be an awesome day.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
Cheers, eh? After being runner-up for the last 9 years in the Premier class, Jason Jepson had to fend off hard-riding South Islander Lockie Collum, and it went down to the last race of the season to decide this title. The two at the top of the table have been trading blows all season. Ian Fitch won a round as well and was lurking right behind them in the points battle, ready to improve on his third place if the leaders got anything wrong on the final day. Doing two classes is no mean feat, and ATV super vet Ian Fitch showed the young fellas that he is one tough campaigner, as well as one of the sport's biggest supporters, supplying sponsorships to loads of the races. He also showed that an old head can often make up for the advantage the young guys think they have with young arms. Some of these gnarly old races seem to get better with age, more like old cheese and fine wine, but there you go. This is a fast and furious action class where the air and the slides are wild. Part motocross, part speedway, all good racing. Here with one of the guys that's probably old enough to know much better, Vaughan Adams and the vets. What keeps you doing it when realistically we're older and wiser than that?
Oh, I love the sport, mate. Love it. Love the atmosphere. You come to good tracks like this. We just recently been over to Australia and raced over there and had a ball over there and ended up coming fourth over there. So yeah, it's not a bad effort for someone to only spend half an hour on the bike.
and with racing with the young fellows, it's a sport that I've seen kids here that look like they're just about ready to start school, and I see guys here that are probably old enough to pick up their pension,
Yeah, exactly. It's good to encourage these young fellas into the sport. My son, he races as well. He's on the production class, and he's loving it. It's only been going his first year, and he wants to go bigger and better, so good on him. Bring on more young fellas, I reckon.
Yeah. So the whole family, I mean, literally I look over there and there's like 3 generations on a pit tent, Is that what ATV is all about?
Oh, definitely. It's a family game. you know, you always you can't leave the family at home. You've got to bring them to where you play. So no, it's all good. You know, it's a big playground really, better than a PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. A real world playing. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, that's the one. You go home with the knocks and bruises, and that's the good thing about it.
Yeah, it's something to remember it by.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know, a bit of skin off your knees or your elbows or something. You know, it's all good.
It's all good, clean fun.
Yeah,
It's dirty.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Fitchy was not only coming third in the Premier class, he was in a pitch battle with DRD sponsored racer Vaughan Adams in the Vets class, taking the title by a mere 3 points from Adams, who won on the day but had to concede the title race, and Doig was right behind him. The Vets are showing no signs of slowing up. They're at it hammer and tongs all season in a class that just seems to be getting better, faster and bigger every year. In the Open Expert class, Thomas Morrison didn't have the day he was hoping for, but that, as they say, is racing. He had already done the deed at the preceding rounds and came into the final round with the title pretty much sealed. His points lead was virtually unassailable, and even though he didn't bag as many points as he usually does on the day, the trophy now sits on his shelf. Daniel Hickman won the day, but was third for the season behind Morrison and the fast and ever consistent Wade Taylor. As the saying goes, the sport really was the winner on the day. The Pirini Trust, the ATV clubs, riders and a great crowd showing that the sport is well and truly alive and kicking. It's a magic venue that stood up to the full program of races extremely well thanks to superb preparation, a great turnout from the South Island, a great atmosphere capped off the title races. If you'd like to find out more about the exciting sport that is ATV racing, get down to your local bike shop and find out when the local club have their next outing. Well, that brings our coverage of the Suzuki ATV Nationals to a close. We hope you enjoyed the ups and downs and sideways action that is ATV racing at its very best.